This is your WCFW Daily News Roundup for 105.7 CFW in Chippewa Falls and 93.5 The Tap in Eau Claire.
For 105.7 CFW News, I'm James Kelly. Western Dairyland Economic Opportunity Council has been awarded significant grant funding from the state in support of its efforts to address homelessness in Eau Claire. According to a press release on Thursday, the organization will receive $600,000 of grant funding for its One Better Way capital campaign. The campaign seeks to support the new Day Resource Center at One Better Way in downtown Eau Claire, and Western Dairyland Economic Opportunity Council is now only about $1 million away from its $6.4 million fundraising goal. The new Day Resource Center officially opened a few months ago, providing unhoused individuals in the Chippewa Valley with a place to get out of the elements and connect with resources that can help them get back on their feet. Western Dairyland Economic Opportunity Council co-runs the site with Hope Gospel Mission. The $600,000 grant award comes from $248 million allocated by Governor Tony Evers and the Wisconsin State Building Commission to support infrastructure improvement and community development projects across the state. The Eau Claire Community Humane Association officially took in some of the dogs rescued from Ridgeland Farms this week. According to organization officials, 10 female beagles they believe were used as breeding dogs arrived at the shelter on Wednesday. They say they've already lined up foster home placements for most of the dogs, but they'll need time to adjust and learn basic skills like house training so they don't try to run away if they get scared. The dogs will eventually be available for adoption, but shelter officials do not have a timeline for how long it will take them to adjust. The Chippewa County Sheriff's Office has identified the vehicle pulled out of Lake Wissota this week as one that was stolen from Lake Hallie. According to law enforcement authorities, a resident discovered the vehicle in Lake Wissota using side imaging equipment while fishing on the Chippewa River. The vehicle was pulled from the water by Steve's Towing of Chippewa Falls using a private boat landing in the town of Eagle Point. Law enforcement authorities later identified it as a Ford SUV that was reported stolen from the village of Lake Hallie in September of 2024. For 105.7 CFW News, I'm James Kelly.
With Civic Media News, I'm Terry Miller. The top Democrat in the Assembly says she's opposed to a $1.8 billion tax and school funding deal because she thinks it could create budget problems for Wisconsin. Assembly Democratic leader Greta Neubauer said the plan would use too much of the state's taxpayer surplus and could lead to cuts to schools or health care later. The proposal included tax rebates and breaks on tips and overtime pay. Supporters, including Governor Tony Evers and some Democratic and Republican lawmakers, said it would have provided needed tax relief. The plan passed the Assembly, but failed in the Senate. A man whose job it was to guard prisoners in Wisconsin now heads to federal prison himself for sexually exploiting a child overseas. 44-year-old Bradley Hounsell from Oshkosh was sentenced to 13 years behind bars for paying to get child sexual abuse videos and images from the Philippines. Evidence was found on his phone after investigators searched his home. He will also face 7 years of supervised release. Hounsell was employed as a correctional officer with the Department of Corrections prior to his arrest. And the Badger State is not among the best places to be a nurse. That's according to a recent study by WalletHub, which ranked all 50 states for some of society's most unsung heroes. The study compiled a list of the best places to be a nurse by looking at job openings, salaries, the quality of nursing homes, and more. Wisconsin was ranked 29th overall on the list and was ranked in the middle of the road for opportunity and work environment. In case you were wondering, Maine topped the list. More news can be found at civicmedia.us.
It's the Brewers and the Twins. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with Sports Baseball. The Twins host the Milwaukee Brewers tonight in Minnesota. The Brewers coming off a series win over the Padres. They beat San Diego yesterday, 7-1, thanks to 5 strong innings pitched by Kyle Harrison, Luis Rengifo, with 3 runs batted in for the crew. I asked him how he's feeling batting 6th in the order.
Oh, feels good, Go there, stay in the process, and see every pitch and hit the ball. So it feels good.
And Rengifo making big plays at third base, manager Pat Murphy.
Yeah, that defensive play was a huge play, and then he's been swinging the bat probably 4 or 5 games now. He's really swinging the bat well, so really pleased that him. Vaughn is swinging it good. those two guys today made a huge difference.
Football, the NFL schedules are out. The Packers kick off the season in Minnesota against the Vikings, and they play the Bears in Chicago on Christmas Day. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
It is going to be sunny and warm today with a high in the upper 80s this afternoon. Tonight, partly cloudy with a few scattered showers or thunder showers this evening. Low in the mid to upper 50s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high right around 85. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable. Current temp 62.
That's your WCFW and the TAP Daily News Roundup from Civic Media. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts. Find more news at WCFW.FM or thetap.fm.